You see, it is the thumping, the banging, the continuous noises I hear from the walls of our adjoining homes, a constant foray into something unknown to me, yet known. I know it to be nefarious, I do. Proof, my evidence, it may evade me, but yet in my heart it is there. I know it. I press my ears to the walls between me and sin and hear the noises of crime. These are not the noises of sane and mortal men. These are the songs of disdain and dread. You see, it is the sound of dragging. Yes, dragging. The sound of limbs against the hardwood floor. How am I so sure, you ask? I know it. You question my proof like those officers. You see, the proof lies in the recreation of the sound, in the mimicking, in the following and seeing that naught else could make that sound. It is that, for there is nothing else that it could be. Someone beyond these bricks is praying for me to unravel these noises, and praying that I hear enough to save them. I am failing them. In each passing minute I fail them more and more, but what am I to do? I cannot force into the home of this being and stare into the eyes of the devil. It is only in the matching that I can stumble upon justice, for one to say the dragging. I know it to be that sound, as with a mannequin I have proved it to be so. I push the mannequin about my flooring and have found the sounds a married pair. The sound, however, while ever so close, held one missing element. My mannequin missed the heaviness of a soul, be it breathing or unbreathing, but real. The weight of life is what I am missing here. I must replicate it to perfection to prove myself just in judgment and sufficely then justice. You see, to collect proof, I need not find it directly from them. No. I merely need to prove that the sounds arising from their home can be naught else. I will indeed throw justice upon them. Then so I can only assume that the man hidden behind the door next door is not using fake bodies. Nay, indeed, they are real. Unbearably so, and as stated, these souls await my ears profound knowledge. I must do them the perfection they require, and so you cannot judge me for what I must do. I must do what I must. Who will take my hand in this quest? I cannot ask this of them, it is too much, but I can only assume that someone would be only honoured to do so. They would save another's life with pride and joy in their hearts, but no, I cannot ask them. To ask would be to condemn. The answer came to me when I needed not to look for it. It was a knocking upon my door. In the early hours of the eve, with the moon-blue sky upon my eyes, there was a knocking that held destiny in its clutches, and the ability to save lives was handed to me. His name? I know it not. I thought it better not to view them as a name. It was more so a tool. Yes, a tool to my answer's end. End, then, is his name. For end, his moments after knocking were hurried, a push into my home and a tea thrust into a hand, and then, quicker than could be thought, his eyes fell to sleep. I was given then the chance to expose my neighbour at the hand of my sleeping end. I dragged him. Throughout the house did I drag him, and with earnest effort I lugged him over carpet, wood and stair to find the exact noise of my neighbour's doing. His head thundered with every movement, banging upon the ground and casting redness over my home. Each moment he gave to me was glee. I was closer now to my evidence than ever before. I was close to having everything I needed when I saw him pass the glass of my window. Oh, what a sight it was! Bags he was carrying, and plenty of them. No normal man creates so much waste unless he has evil hidden within them. After these bags were cast away, the noises, they stopped. All at once there was silence, but for the groaning of my young end. How could I know what was in those bags? The bin men came much too fast, and I could not look. The silence, however, it was more deafening than the noises. It alluded to the destruction of the soul hidden in their home. I had failed that soul, but I would not let another man fall to them. I had to prove that 5 bags was all it took, that 5 bags was enough to carry a man's entire life. Dear End knew not what was coming to him, but I knew his heart would be only honoured. I knew that he was fully aware to the purpose he was serving, and that in my cutting and slicing he was helping the future souls from the very same end. With each butcher's slice and limb cast to the ground, I had ended what a mother had made, and proved that 5 bags is plenty enough for the task. To my luck, I found the officers at my door. They came knocking, much like End had done just days prior, and with glee I could finally show them what I had collected in evidence. I brought them into my home. I pointed to the wall and leant upon it, telling them of the noises I had heard. I leant on the hands and knees to the blood upon my ground and discussed the ways in which I had proved what created those sounds. They just stared. simply stared at the blood and the bags, looking at them with horror deep within. But why? These were what proved the man next door a murderer, not I. Not I, for I used N to prove my next door neighbour's evil doings. They should be happy with my act, not sorrowful, not horrified. They turned to me and called me a killer. What joke! What folly! I am not a killer, for I did not do so because I wanted to. I did so because there was a need to prove it, a need to find the evidence. I had done so, and they called me mad, a liar and a fool. They dragged me from my home on hobbled knees, and yet I screamed for them to search the home beside me, and they simply shook their joker heads. They did not look. They simply cast guilt upon me without even knocking upon my neighbour's door. I saw him. His eyes in the window, watching me carried away and knowing he had gotten away with the murder he had done, and cast guilt upon me instead. Behind the door next door is a killer, and in the cell beside me there is evermore. I promise you I will prove it. For it is the noises that still rattle in my brain. They are the proof that reality cannot accept. And yet the thumping, the groaning, it continues ever on.